right, guys, how you doing? Hope everybody's doing good. LMS Tactical here. If you hear snoring in the background, it's my grand doggy. My daughter is visiting with her pug Sam, and anybody that knows anything about pugs, they're very loud. And he's got to be sitting right next to me, and he's snoring. So, you know, those of you that have been on the channel know that I'm half dead with the flu, like I guess a lot of folks in the country. So, I know I look like shit. The fuck was that? So I don't know whoever invented the pug needs to be shot. I mean, they're noisy, demanding, and they look like fucking aliens. Uh, but yeah, I'm half dead with the flu. I think I'm on day 5. I'm feeling a little bit better than I was yesterday. I think either yesterday or the day before, I posted a video of me shirtless singing some song. You got to check it out. It's like 1 or 2 videos back, but that'll tell you how delirious I was. But I appreciate the kind comments, man. I was surprised. It looks like I might have found a few gay lovers for my side action. But anyways, yeah, okay. So like everybody in the country, we're all devastated about this shooting that went down in Florida. And again, if you guys pop up, what does this shit say? No, I don't want to do that. I'm not a good live video dude. The fuck? Okay, yeah. All right. Hey, what's going on, Walt? Uh, by the way, I broke my glasses. I mean, I'm having a bad month. I mean, these are the real glasses. They're like $700 glasses. Broke the freaking thing on them. So these are my cheapies, and I can't see. So, yeah. Okay. So who? Oh, hey, what's up, FP? Hey, from Deutschland. Was ist los, Fraulein? Or is it Frau? Who else is there, man? Jerusalem King. Yeah, that's what I want to talk about, man. I guess I should probably let a few people filter in, but I mean, every time one of these shootings, I mean, I'm not going to say anything profound in terms of this particular shooting, so I'm going to stay away from specifics because I haven't been glued to the TV. It's just sometimes it just becomes too much. So I don't know a whole lot. I know that I think at the last time I walked by the TV, there were 16 or 17 dead. I mean, it doesn't really matter once one is tragic. One person dead. Multiple is, I mean, after Las Vegas, it's like eventually, what are we going to just become completely numb to this shit? And it's interesting because, you hear other people all over the news. You get people calling in from other countries and countries that people that don't understand where we come from. Their first thing is, well, why I can't believe you guys have guns. Get rid of the guns. You guys are, you're living like you're in the cowboy days, and they don't get it. They're never going to get it. So I don't listen to them. Guys like you and guys and girls, when I say guys, that's all inclusive. So calm down, Woozle. People like us are in a bit of a quandary. It is a conundrum. And the reason I named this video the school shooting conundrum is because the answers are not simple. I mean, let me just put it to you this way. Obviously, as a retired Los Angeles police officer, and a gun guy and a firearms instructor with the NRA and a FLETC firearms instructor, I love guns. Guns are a part of my life. I love them for a lot of different reasons. I love them aesthetically. I like to collect them. I like the way they look. I like the way they feel. I like the way they shoot. I love the connection they have with our heritage as a country, our development as a country. I love the concept that went into the Second Amendment and the reason the Second Amendment was written out the way that it was, and it had nothing to do with hunting. Like I heard one of the liberals that popped up on Fox talking about, hey, I love to hunt. I own guns. My son and I, we go hunting, but we don't use an AR-15. AR-15s are for killing people. Well, yeah, no shit. The muskets in the Revolutionary War were for killing people too. They were for killing traitors. They were for killing invaders and people that would trample on the very freedoms that we've tried and people have died and bled for to establish in this country. So you guys all know that. Like I said, I'm not going to go over a bunch of shit that we already know. But my wife and I started talking it, and she's dying now with the flu. As everybody in the house has the flu. But we were talking, and I just wanted to run some thoughts by you guys, because every now and again, I mean, more often than I want to admit, she comes up with some really good shit, and I'm like, fuck, why didn't I think of that? So let's look at this case just a little bit. So here you got a 19-year-old guy. Let's just say that that's accurate, because I don't know. And the things that we do know, okay, what's been released as far as I'm concerned, they said that he was a gun enthusiast. He had Instagram pages where he loved guns. He watched videos of like, what are these guys called? These rebel fucking Syrian rebels and rebels in Iraq. These combat, live combat things. He was on a live YouTube thing like this, but I think it was about bombs or bomb making or something like that. Okay, so let's just look at those things right there. And he'd been kicked out of school. Okay, so what the fuck could we have done as a society? What was there that we could have done? And it's funny to listen to all the talking heads on TV, and they're like, well, here you have a guy where the signs were right there. All of the signs were right in front of us. The guy was posting shit on his Facebook. He pictures of himself with guns. He was watching videos of fucking guerrilla groups and shit. What do you do with that? Because I'm gonna tell you something. I take it very personal when somebody kills an innocent person with a gun. Nobody is more anti fucking gun violence than me. I've buried good friends in uniform because assholes killed them with guns. I've had a family member murdered with a gun. My ex-brother-in-law was a great guy, one of the best people that ever walked the face of the earth, and shot in the neck by some fucking dude he didn't even know. And I've stood, toe to toe with guys, with guns, and that shouldn't have had guns. So on the one hand, yeah, I don't want fucking assholes having guns. But on the other hand, I don't want good people losing guns. I am just as adamant about protecting our Second Amendment at all costs as I am about preventing this type of shit. So if we just leave it at that, we end up with waiting around for the next shooting and the next one and the next one, and this big tidal wave of Pelosi's and what's that fucking psycho old sea hag out in California? What's that chick's name? What's that California chick, the anti-gun chick? My fucking glasses don't work. Yeah, Feinstein. Thank you. You end up with these psychos, coming out there, and they want to just, that's it. We got to fucking ban. Right now, the big thing's going to be banning the AR-15s. That's what they're going to go for. Because they just put out too much ammo. Oh, really? So you don't think I could fucking send a shitload of double-out buck out of the barrel of a shotgun? I mean, let's just forget the Saiga. Maybe they'll take that away too. That's a semi-automatic shotgun for those that don't know. Have you ever tried to empty a shotgun as fast as you can? It's pretty fucking easy, and quite frankly, far more devastating, in my opinion. Will not be infringed. You're goddamn right. So, but okay, so let's look at that for a second, because that's where I stand too. Will not be infringed. And if you give them a little fucking bit, that's how they just start pulling the thread, and your entire fucking Constitution comes apart. So you can't fucking give an inch to these cocksuckers, because that's how they work. That's how the fucking Germans did it in the 30s. Every country that's ever been disarmed, every one of them, started off by letting themselves be convinced that it was for their benefit. The day someone can convince me that to take away my right to defend myself and give that mission to someone else, that's good, that ain't gonna fucking happen, man. I don't want to live in this fucking world, and I won't. I wouldn't survive that kind of a world. No way. And how ironic. I was the guy for all my adult life that was the guy with the badge and the gun that was coming to help you guys, not you personally, to help the citizens who managed to make it to a phone and dial 911. And you know what was there when I got there in a violent situation where somebody died? it was either the fucking bad guy laying there dead and the fucking armed citizen, or more often than not, because we're talking Los Angeles, it was the fucking innocent citizen and maybe their family laying there all over the fucking front room in the hallway. And then us trying to have to figure out what the fuck happened. Because guess who didn't have guns and guess who did? So, I mean, I'm extremely hard in terms of our gun rights, and I will not yield. Almost, I just won't. I will not yield at all. Okay. That being said, now you may think that I'm going to fucking renege a little bit on this because I want to run something by you. And I'm not saying this is where I stand 100%, but this is a conversation my wife and I had. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to run and share it with these guys, see what they think. So what's the problem, Mike? What do we do? Because, we all know there's going to be other school shootings. This is just how the psychology of this type of society works. It's like the old West. Somebody fucking killed 2 or 3 people. Someone else wanted to outdo that guy. And there's some fucking dude sitting there somewhere watching the news thinking, man, I could outdo that motherfucker. He's watching right now. And we just got to wait around and see when that fucker's going to surface. And it's going to happen. And I hope the fuck it doesn't happen to anybody and I hope it doesn't happen to anybody I know. I wish it wouldn't happen at all, but let's be real. We can't live in the liberal fantasy world where we wish shit. We got to live in the real fucking world. So let's talk just a little bit about background of our society here. I am 55 years old, soon to be 56. When I was 18, Reagan was the first president, was my first guy that I voted for, Ronald Reagan. Now, I loved everything he did, but he did do one thing that was really fucked up. He is the guy that basically put into motion the removal of all of these. We used to have mental hospitals all over the fucking country. You can go now on YouTube and, they got guys that sneak into these abandoned insane asylums and look for ghosts and shit. Well, all of those giant, huge, ominous buildings used to be filled up with people. And when all the funding went away and they closed those down, where did all those fucking nutcases go? They went, what was it called? I can't pronounce it. That's a fucking huge ass word. The De-something Solicitation Act. I don't know how to fucking pronounce that word. These glasses don't work. I love you, man. I'm gonna have to read it later. What the fuck? Okay. The government's so naive to believe that they can take all the guns. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't. It's just like like when the alcohol was illegal, or like, oh, drugs, they're illegal now, but I bet I could go 50 fucking yards and come back with probably any drug. Okay, so all those nutcases all over the country ended up where? On the streets and in the prisons. Go watch these shows Lock Up and look at these fucking nutcases. Not all of these guys are just normal criminals. What's a normal criminal? A guy that fucking commits crime. A lot of these guys are absolute nutcases. I used to deal with them, and you knew it. A lot of the homeless people, because people that can't function on their own because they've got issues. And I don't mean to disparage them. I'm not some heartless motherfucker that thinks that, because somebody's got mental issues, they don't deserve care. They do deserve care. And look, to be fair, some of those mental institutions were beyond barbaric. They were like fucking Nazi shit. I mean, molestations, rapes, fucking experiment. I mean, a lot of weird shit. They were not regulated well enough, in my opinion. Geraldo Rivera, not a big fan, but when he was really young, you could probably find it on YouTube. He did a special, I think it was in New York, where he went and did like an expose on one of these fucking institutions. And it was, it's the naked kids sitting there rocking and they're covered in their own shit. I mean, okay, that's not the way to run them. However, we've taken them all away. So our mental health right now is, I don't really know what the fuck. I mean, what happens? I mean, if you got a problem, I guess they give you medication. If you're lucky enough to have insurance, you get medication and get kicked out the door. If you miss your medication, you end up like this motherfucker. I don't know if this guy's a nutcase, but I gotta assume there's something going on with that motherfucker's Bell Housing Group, because look what he just fucking did. I mean, that ain't normal. Wait, who's talk about 22 years? I haven't seen nothing. I haven't seen or heard. Yeah. I'm prior military. I've heard it all. Yeah. So okay. So let's think about these mental institutions that closed. And now let's move into this new. And I know we all like to badmouth the millennials. Look, man, I'm a father to three, four, five, because I got stepkids and I got adopted kids. So I got three natural, and my math sucks. Two stepkids and fucking adopted two. Five, carry the one plus two. Okay, so I'm a father to like seven millennials. Okay. I hope they're not watching this video. They're fucked up. I'm sorry if that offends you. Society right now, the way in this country that we treat our young people, they and let's not forget the mental thing, because these people that have mental issues are living in this world of where it's okay to be fully entitled. I mean, there's no hierarchy in so many of these homes. Go look on YouTube. You see people fucking punching their mother, and they people proudly put these videos up. Bitch, tell me to do my homework. You know, I mean, it's like fucking kids are entitled. Uh, there's no such thing as respect. None of us know what fucking sex we are. It's whatever the fuck I was watching on Netflix last night. See, just to let you know, I'm as right wing as they get. I'm further to the right than Attila the Hun, but I still watch liberal shit because I like to know what the enemy's doing, man. I'm sorry, it's just recon. So I watched like a Katie what's her name? Katie Couric, that liberal fuck. She did a show on like the transgender world. She wanted to dive deep into that, and I watched about 3/4 of it. Where the fuck was I going with that? But it's just this whole. I mean, there were parents that were letting in one case they had identical twins. One of them they thought wanted to be a girl, and he played with dolls or whatever. And then at like I don't know, I think he was fucking 2 seconds old, and he said something like, "I want to be a girl." And from that point on, well, then you're a new girl, and we'll try. And then they let him pick out dresses, and then and now he's fucking he's 11 years. And their full philosophy was, what right do we have to make these decisions for our children? I mean, this is how liberals are thinking, people. And all of this ties into what happened in Florida today. I want to fucking cinch it right up in case anybody missed it. But it all is connected. This is my point for this fucking video. What right do we have to fucking make decisions for our children? We got every fucking right. We got every. The fuck is. Oh, check out my. Listen. That's my ringtone. I recorded it off my YouTube entry because I mean, at the end where the credits go, I love that song. Hey, fuck you. I'm in the middle of a live video. All right, so people ask that, what right do we have? We have an obligation, people. We don't need a right to fucking make decisions for our kids. If we're not making decisions for our kids, what the fuck are we doing? We shouldn't have them. So the kids can be whatever sex they feel like at any given moment. They can shit in any fucking bathroom they want to shit in, whatever. If they want to go girl, boy, or fucking if they have a neutral, I don't fucking know. The teachers can't fucking raise their voice to the kids because it could damage them, and then they'll be fucked up, and then maybe they won't know what to fucking do, and then they'll become Republicans and vote for Donald Trump. I don't know, in 2020. So we can't do any of that shit. We can't expect things of them because remember, everybody's a fucking winner. Nobody's a fucking loser, right? I understand you came in last, Johnny, but actually, if the race was reversed on video, you would have come in first. Fuck that shit, man. We have to get back to the fucking yes or no, sir. Open the door. It's it's okay for guys to fucking be interested in women again. That ain't gonna happen in my lifetime. But the reason all this, it's this ambiguity. That's a hard word for a guy with a GED to say, so don't ask me to repeat it. But it's that fucking lack of clarity right there that just and then we all wonder, oh my God, why are the children killing everybody? Why are they doing it? All right, so I was going to say this to you. I know somebody who I'm very close to who meets all of the criteria that this fucking asshole today that he displayed or that we know about. Okay, this fucking dude loves guns. Knock it off, fucker. Did I just turn off the computer? Okay, he loves guns. He watches combat videos in Syria and Iraq on YouTube, watches ISIS videos, that kind of shit. And yeah, post pictures and shit about guns. And I'm really close to him because it's fucking me. Every fucking thing that they said that dude did, I fucking do it. I've been watching ISIS videos since fucking before it was cool to be ISIS. That was an attempt at humor. It was really stupid. I got the fucking flu, so don't judge me. But I always am looking, I'll go to YouTube and I'll put, ISIS being slaughtered because I like it. Okay. It gets me a little bit aroused watching these motherfuckers get hammered by drones and shit. I just like it. Now, I also watch Rebel combat and shit because I'm always evaluating the tactics, even of assholes. You can learn from bad guys just as much as you can from good guys. You watch a battle that's videoed, these ISIS guys and these other fuckers. A lot of them, it's a big thing for them to video their attacks on like a fucking outpost in Iraq. Hey, why would you not watch that? If you're into firearms and you're into tactics, man, you can get a bird's eye view from these GoPros and see what works and what doesn't. You know, when a motherfucker's running out there doing and he fucking takes around, that's how I learned that it's probably not a good idea to just fucking shoot everywhere without looking and fucking chirping like a fucking insane bird. That's why I don't do it, because I learned that it's deadly by watching videos. So yeah, I mean, how many of us meet the criteria? And so let's say, okay, John, let's say that our son is upstairs and we realize, oh my God, he's watching these videos. Oh, he likes guns. What do we do? What the fuck? Because I know they're talking on Fox right now, about, well, there were all the signs. What do we got to do? There's all these signs. And what was that asshole from fucking Louisiana on Fox? God damn, I hate that guy. He's a weird looking dude. I can't remember his name. Weird name too. He just, but he was talking about all that shit, like people got to say something. We got to say something. All right, what are you going to do? Call the police? My kid, he's on YouTube and he's watching combat. What are they going to fucking kick the door down? This dude was 19 years old. All right. Let me read some comments real quick because I feel like I'm missing shit. God damn it. None of my glasses work. You know what fucked up it is to go blind? Fuck. Hang on a second. They ought to have these videos, these live feeds where I can hear you talking. You know what I'm saying? Because I see shit scrolling along, but it's like, okay, Mike, shut the fuck up. Nobody gives a shit about what you said. I'm just kidding. Okay, these school shootings, the ones for the ones not sure about gun control. Right. That's exactly right. When I wanted to wear a dress as a kid, my mom kicked my ass. Now I'm only 5% confused. Yeah, fucking airborne, brother. Let's see. they okay. In my opinion, we have more guns in this country than we do people. Yeah, I agree with that. Apparently, this asshole was a registered Democrat. Ooh, there's a surprise. I hope that turns out to be true. He had ties to Antifa. Now, this is somebody's comment, Patrick. I hope that's true, brother. Because I always like it when the other side steps on their dick. They don't take them from the strong, they'll grab them from the weak. Very well said. Fuck yeah. That's very true. Our U.S. military isn't big enough to go to the door. Yeah, no, it would take the United Nations. And I'll tell you something, man. Now, all you feds that are listening to the channels and trying to figure out who's all dangerous, just calm the fuck down when I say this. This is not literal. If that happened, man, there'd be a lot of blue helmets laying around with holes in them. Just saying. I mean, come on. I would not want to be in a UN fucking platoon on a fucking gun confiscation mission in this country. Now, I don't worry about that happening in my lifetime. What I worry about is my kids' and grandkids' lifetimes because, it's the old, is it axiom? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And right now, the elephant is the Second Amendment, or let's just say the Constitution. And these Democrats are like little fucking miniature piranhas just nibbling at the fucking hooves of the elephant. Do elephants have hooves? All right, the fucking big feet. I don't know, man. What the fuck am I, a goddamn elephantologist? But, okay, so my wife and I got to talking. I'm coming to the point here. And she said, 19 is too young to own a fucking, to be able to buy, because this guy was of legal age, just like me. I'm in Virginia. Once you're 18 here, you can go out and buy an AR-15. You can carry a weapon, fully exposed. And she says, it's just too young because they're not mature enough and blah, blah, blah. No, I immediately went into combat mode with her on Valentine's Day because I don't take shit from nobody. And I could have got hurt because I just gave her a fucking taser that I got her from the gun show. Now, I said, okay, wait a minute, wait. I said, so the guy's old enough to go fight for his country, but you're saying that he can't, no, I don't agree with that. I mean, when a guy's fucking old enough to go to war, it's just like, you let him go die for your right, your freedom and your rights, but you're not going to give him the right to carry a gun. I don't agree with you. Now, I was on dangerous fucking thin ice because my wife is Vietnamese, and them people, they know all kinds of secret shit. So I could have got. So we went back and forth for a while, and then it hit me because I responded at some point going, well, that's true. If you look at it from a maturity standpoint, God, maybe we ought to do something weird, like raise the age limit for some of these weapons to be, I don't know, 25. And then I immediately countered it with no, because now we're infringing on the Constitution. I'm just being brutally honest with you guys. This was a back and forth, and I'm telling you what I said that was wrong, and and I was shocked to hear myself say that. Wait a minute, I can't put controls on the fucking Second Amendment, man. Now I'm just as bad as them. What the fuck you doing, Mike? But I couldn't shake this weird feeling that she was onto something about maturity. I mean, think about young guys. Now, this is gonna piss you off, but just stick with me for a second, and then let's see what you think. Because this sounds very liberal. Young guys are very emotional. When I was fucking 19, and I was walking through the bar in Germany, I was in Stuttgart in a place called La Bastille, and a guy bumped into me and it spilled my drink on my shirt. And do you think I was like, oh, hey, don't worry about it? No, it was a fucking full blown riot that ended up with me getting arrested by the MPs, and fucking all kinds of trouble came out of it. That's a 19-year-old dude. That's just reality. Now, if somebody spilled my drink at this age, do you think I would have done that? Fuck no, I would have shot him. No, I'm just kidding. If the feds are heading toward my house right now, yeah, we got him. But yeah, so you are mature. You're more mature the older you get. But I just couldn't figure out a way to square the rights shall not be infringed. And then it fucking hit me. How does this sound? I want to run this by you. And you guys, just before you respond, think about it. And if this is not an option, it's not an option. But at least you have to agree to this. I think if we don't, because first of all, we have to acknowledge there is a problem. There's like 17 people's innocent kids dead. We can't fucking ignore that. It's easy for us, I think, sometimes to put our hackles up and start fighting back to protect our guns because it's not our kids. Now, I will tell you that I'm 100% sure that if it was one of my kids, I still would be pro Second Amendment. Nothing's going to change me about that. But I just want you to think a little bit about, don't be too quick to be like, fuck no, I'm not going to give an inch, because I don't want to give an inch either. But this may not be given an inch. Hear me out. This is what came out of my wife's conversation, and this part was my idea. Let's just say hypothetically, and this doesn't have to be the answer. I'm just saying maybe this line of thinking is the answer or one of the answers. What if we kept the Second Amendment exactly the same way as it is, because we should, because that's the Second Amendment, shall not be infringed, like she said, or like he said. But when it comes to heavier, higher capacity weapons, calm down, just let me finish. Let's just say that when it comes to these like AR-15s and whatever, I don't want to say the word they use, the assault rifles is bullshit. But let's just say for certain weapons that there's a 25-year age restriction, means you have to be 25 years old, hold on, to get a class of weapon, unless you've served in the military. If you served in the military, there's no age restriction. Now, is that insane? Now, like I said, it doesn't have to be that, but is that line of thinking maybe possible? Let me read some responses. I missed my time in Okinawa. I never made to Okinawa. Me neither. Oh, these are Marines. I love Marines. It's funny, when I was younger, man, I was like all Army, but I got some good Marine friends. Okay, when I was in high school in Northern California, you could have a gun. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you grew up with them and you had respect for them, and this shit was unheard of. There's a problem. My parents aren't teaching. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because it's all about my feelings. Fuck you. If I bump into you, that's your problem. I'm a victim. Uh, it's too many ex-military special forces and just straight up crazy motherfuckers living in the woods. Yeah, Justin, when I started reading that, I was thinking, wait a minute, I thought this was like an anti fucking, kind of a redneck special forces comment, but I see what you're saying. Yeah, that would be a fucking Branch Davidian fucking Waco shit every week. Disarmed population is far more controllable. Ask the British and ask the Australians and ask fucking the fucking 1939 Germany, pre fucking Hitler. Nobody's raising their kids right. Okay, here we go. Gerald, the one guy that I thought I could count on to back me up, even if I was wrong. Let's hear what he has to say. Nope, can't do that, Mike. You do that to one gun, you have to do it to all. Hey man, I thought you're out of the will, motherfucker. Okay, but let's talk about that. Okay, let's look at what he said. You give him an inch, he'll take a mile. Okay. Jerusalem is my king, 777. Uh, That's why I gave the precursors. Now hear me out. Let's focus on that. Here's the thing, because if look, we're doing something. This is like an experiment of what would it look like if people really put their heads to the problem. Because again, I want to ask you, it, there is a problem, right? I mean, how many school shootings are there, and how many are there going to be, and mass shootings, and all this other shit? I mean, we know that this is going to continue. We can agree on that. And since we know that's going to continue, don't we have an obligation? Not you and me, but doesn't society have an obligation to to look at the problem? So if you do it to one gun, you have to do it to all guns. Okay, but we've seen in the past where in some states, I'm talking federal shit, because in some states they say that if a gun has a fucking pistol grip, you can't have it. But where I'm at, you can have it. So it doesn't affect all guns. It's what people are willing to put up with. I mean, like I said, there would have to be like a new classing, and I ain't the smartest motherfucker, so I'm just saying there might have to be a new way to categorize the weapons. So let's just say that fucking semi-automatic, high capacity weapons, you got to be 25 years old or have served in the military. Because serving in the military, what that does is it teaches you respect for weapons, and it shows a level of maturity that this guy in Florida clearly doesn't have. Um, okay. Who pays for the polygraph? Why not just have an armed security at the schools? Well, I mean, there were officers at that school. I mean, it's a good question, because the school resource officers. I think every school, I believe, has law enforcement there. This particular one, I understand, had two. But how smart was this guy? And I always believe in giving credit where credit's due. Um, God, USMC, he's backing Glock up. God damn it, Gerald. You fucking horse fucked me in front of the crowd. This isn't over between us, dude. You are fucking not coming to my house for Thanksgiving. All right. So, what what the fuck? The old saying goes, if Democrats would stop shooting people, yeah. We should bring back the draft. Yeah, I mean, this is such a multi-pronged thing. But let's just say that we had a new category or categorizing system for the weapons, and we did that. What is the downside of that? Um, let's just say, Gerald, that didn't apply to all guns. That somehow there was a way to get the wording through. I mean, in other words, it may not be that example, but do you think that there's any hope for that kind of thinking? You know what I'm saying? I mean, something that makes it. I mean, again, and I don't know where this guy got his weapon at either. I mean, it could have been his dad's weapon, and that would have made all of this a moot point. I was going to say too about the school security. I believe there should be security everywhere, armed security, just like in Israel. I mean, if you go to Israel, you can't go to fucking McDonald's without being searched to get in there. I mean, that's the truth. It's some people say, "Oh, what a fucked up way to live." Hey, man, it's called being realistic. But this asshole in Florida, what did he do, man? He knew that the schools, he used to go to that school. All these schools have this lockdown fucking policy or whatever. And so he hits the fire alarm. And what does that do? That funnels everybody right into the death fucking chamber. Now, don't think we're not going to see that happen again. You know, assholes and nutcases, they watch shit like this and they think, hey, that's a fucking great idea. I mean, look, man, I'm just being brutally honest. If I was a nutcase, psychotic fucking murderer of the masses, I'd be like, that was brilliant. Um, you know, okay, right now the goal of the media and the government is to play with the heartstrings. Exactly. Yeah. Let's see. Yes, yeah, but it would give the government a way to add some bullshit tax. Yeah, and that's no, that's true, Gerald. I mean, see, this is it's like somebody said, "Way the fuck back." It might have been you, Gerald. I don't know. That's the problem with this whole thing is we give just an inch, and even a perceived giving of an inch. You know, then we lose everything, and I acknowledge that. I just can't believe and the other thing, the reason I brought up this whole mental institution thing, I believe we ought to have options for mentally ill people. You know, right now, there is no, and I've said this on other videos, there's no incentive for people to come forward with their own mental illness. And the example would be this, and cops are they're the biggest victims of this shit. And it's always been in the back of my mind to fucking somehow launch some sort of a war against this insanity when it comes to what I'm getting ready to say. Let's just say a cop, and this is for the people that have never heard this. Let's just say I'm a cop and I'm feeling suicidal. Now, do cops commit suicide all the fucking time? I had a friend blow his brains out in the fucking Hyatt parking lot. And he said it seemed like everything was fine, you know, happily married, had a nice family, and blah, 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 blah. But the shit got to him. So, cops do this all the time. Soldiers do this all the time. I mean, veterans. But here's the deal. Here's the fucking catch 22 of the stupid fucking mental thing. If I'm a cop and I'm thinking about blowing my fucking brains out, and I go to my fucking watch commander, I'm like, hey, Sarge, I need to see a mental health person. Oh, yeah, okay. So I go to the fucking mental health person. "Well, what's going on, Mike? Yeah, I'm just feeling really bad, man. I keep having thoughts of fucking blowing my brains out. Oh, okay. Well, immediately I got no gun. I'm off the fucking street. I'm assigned to somewhere in the back handing out fucking radios. Yeah. Or putting gas in the fucking police cars. And what the fuck have I accomplished? I just fucked my entire career up. So that ain't ever gonna happen. Veterans. Veterans, many of them love to exercise their Second Amendment. Many of them are suicidal. I think a veteran kills himself every 22 minutes or something like that. It's horrendous. But if you go to the VA, and I'm a big fan of the VA has treated me right. But you go to the VA, and I notice all the time, I'll go there and I'll say, hey, my earlobe really hurts. Are you having thoughts of suicide? I mean, this is what they're trained. They're like fucking cat, you know. This is the liberal world we live in. They want to get you to admit to that you have a fucking problem. This is a opinion of getting to the guns. Everything leads to getting the guns. You know, every time you go to the doctor. So, anybody hurting you at home? What the fuck? Nobody, what? So, but if a veteran does that and says, hey, I'm having thoughts of suicide, he's immediately put on medication. His shit goes into his record. And do you think he's going to be issued a concealed carry permit? Because they're going to ask him right then and there. Well, all right. So, do you have any firearms at home? They're going to ask his wife. There is no incentive to try to get help because that I believe that all these problems we're talking about, the nowhere to put people that have mental problems. Mental institutions weren't run efficiently and appropriately. Uh, Taking away our right to carry weapons and shit if we, God forbid, try to actually be honest and get help for ourselves. Fucking entitled kids who have no discipline and are always right no matter what. All of this has led us to what's going on in Florida and what's going to happen next week or next month or next year. Right now, there's somebody's kid running around the house as cute as can be, and he's going to be one of the next victims in the next school shooting. And they don't know who he is, and I don't know who he is. But it's going to happen, man. Read some comments, and then I'm going to wrap this up. You hear all these sirens? Motherfuckers have zeroed in on my signal. They found my bunker. You'll never take me alive, motherfuckers. Because fucking all right. So let me read this here. Yeah, but would it give the government a way to? Yeah, it would. Okay, stop the media coverage. Now that won't ever happen though. Okay, more laws, more government, more taxes to pay. Yeah, that's true. I lost a sergeant. I'm sorry about your loss, brother. Did you ever have to respond to a mass casualty? That's a good question, Patrick. Mass casualty? No, no, that was unheard of. I retired in 1996, and we that was absolutely unheard of. Um, okay, we look at these demons are out. One thing, and that is for notoriety. Yeah, to be the guy that took out the most. I never thought after my 22 years in the military. Sorry, I'm so blind, guys. I would watch my government through the media conduct psyop. Yeah, that's pretty scary. But you know what? That's that's a whole nother video, man. Not just do a psyop, but in every form of the concept of psyop. There's freaking oh my god. When will the lawmakers ever realize that most of these mass shootings take place in gun-free zones? Yeah, I mean, look at Chicago. I think there's a mass shooting every fucking night. Okay, so true. Our own government wants us disarmed. Absolutely. What kind of parents did this kid have? I wish I knew. I don't know. L.A. riots, mass. Yeah, yeah. Well, the L.A. riots, man. Whew, that was that wasn't like a mass shooting, so to speak, but it was a mass of some crazy motherfuckers. And quite frankly, I would say, and a lot of people that were out there with me would agree that that was probably one of the very few times where I kind of made peace, thinking, the odds of me getting out or seeing the sun come up tomorrow. And this is one particular night during the riots where I literally thought the odds of me seeing the sunrise are slim to none. And I wasn't real happy about it, but it kind of felt peaceful too. I was like, because what can you do? You're right in the fucking middle of it. Bullets are flying. I mean, what are you gonna do? But yeah, the whole government thing, it's a psyop, it's disinformation. I mean, think about it, man. All governments want control. And I don't want to get too far into the weeds to use a fucking overused term, but what is the one thing that just is the fly in the ointment with these power hungry motherfuckers? And let's face it, anyone that wants to be in control is a power hungry motherfucker. It takes a certain personality to want to be a leader, or even the president for that matter. I mean, it takes a certain kind of asshole to even want to be the president. They make a lot of money. You got to step on a lot of good people to get up. It's like being the CEO of most companies. They're usually assholes. So the one fly in the ointment is our Second Amendment. It fucks everything up for these people, no matter which side they're on. How the hell did he get into the school? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched the details of it, but I heard, because I purposely wasn't focusing on it too much. It was a little bit more than I could take. Not that I'm just sick as a dog, and I just was just overwhelmed. And I think I heard that he shot his way in because there was a victim or two on the outside. He went in, he had a gas mask on, threw some smoke grenades, pulled the fire alarm, and waited till everybody came out in the hall and started shooting. Um, I'm sure the government has a hand in most of the horrible things that happen. Not that long ago, I would have thought you were a nutcase for saying that. I don't think that anymore. I mean, it's odd how, and this is old. I've talked about this before. I'm a guy that has worked with and for the government for so long. Whether it was city by way of the LAPD or federal by way of a supervisory special agent with an IG in DC, an Office of Inspector General for a huge agency. And I just always thought I was on the good guy team. And it wasn't until, I start fucking, wow, man, was I on the wrong team or did the whole rules change around me? And I got to believe it's the latter. I mean, I was never aware of this insanity, this fucking manipulation and this darkness. I look at like law enforcement now and everybody knows I'm pro cop. I love cops. But come on, man, it's changed. It's a different, it's not the same, man. I mean, uh, it's it's a strange fucking time we're living in. The tactics we used with countries we went to war with are happening against us now. That's a good observation, dude. That's scary. How the hell? Okay. L.A. riots. You had to make the right stuff to survive that. You had to be made. Well, you had to either be made of the right stuff or honestly lucky, just lucky. I mean, so because some really weird shit happened. I mean, some of it was almost like, so, you tell it a scary story around a campfire. I mean, weird shit. Fog rolling in right at the right moment, when the rounds start coming in, and then when the shooting stops, fog's gone. You're like, what the fuck? I mean, some of it, man. I mean, it could have been so much worse. I'll put it to you that way. It really could. It's a miracle that that was not a lot worse. And the reason it wasn't as bad as it could have been was because we had our hands tied. I mean, we righteously had our hands tied. Had they unleashed the LAPD, just unleashed us and said, "Stop this shit," that fucking riot would have been put down in about 4 hours. But there would have been stacks of dead bodies, and they just didn't want to have that happen. The politics were just recovering from the King thing. No more flash, no more flashlight therapy. What do they? Do they take away their flashlights now? I can never be against our military police departments unless they start. Yeah, that's awesome. Jerusalem is my king. He just said I could never be against our military or police department unless they start kicking in my door for no reason. That's odd. I mean, beautifully said. I've had this discussion so many times because I actually have had people try to paint me into a corner and say, "Wait a minute." So, because I'll talk about how there is no way on earth I'm ever getting onto a cattle truck and going to a fucking re-education camp. This is an extreme. But it's happened in our lifetime. I mean, my dad's side of the family, not many of them survived the Holocaust. And that all started with a fucking door, knock on the door, and hey, man, get in the fucking truck. Okay, that ain't ever gonna happen to me. Not because I'm a tough guy. It's because I've made decisions in my life, certain lines in the sand, and one of them is I ain't getting in your fucking truck just because you tell me to. Okay. So people say, well, then you would actually kill cops and you would kill government agents if they came to your door and they said, look, man, here's the way it works. If you come to my door and you have a uniform on of a police officer or a government agent, but you're trying to illegally take my family into custody or bring harm to me, then you're not a police officer and you're not a government agent. It would not be me fighting against law enforcement because you would now be an enemy of this country in my eyes. And I think in any rational person's mind. Now there's some liberals that could take that and twist it around and say, hey, this is guys like David Koresh. Not at all. Let's see. Obama didn't push gun control in his first term. He immediately after his second election, there's a mass shooting of first graders. Yeah, coincidence? Yeah, no, I don't believe in coincidences. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to ever get my words twisted around. Sometimes, you put yourself in danger when you make these videos because, I'm sure, like I said, I'm not trying to make myself like I'm some important dude on YouTube. But let's be honest, I work for the government. There are motherfuckers whose jobs are to sit and watch videos and they have algorithms that pull up certain titles and they'll watch these and, you get categorized. And I started making these in the Obama years. Now, if you go back to my older videos in the Obama day, there is no fucking way that his people didn't put me into this motherfucker needs to be executed and put in a fucking shallow grave the minute we take over this country category. There's no doubt in my fucking mind, that some motherfucker with big thick ass glasses and a fucking federal badge, Yeah, the fucking LMS tactical. He's a goddamn danger. He's a psycho. He's teaching people how to fucking survive. Fuck them. I don't consider them legitimate fucking members of the government, man, because the government's main function is to protect the population, not horse fuck the population out of the very rights that we have, that make this country beautiful. I could go on and on and on. How long has this video been going on? Am I nuts? All right, you guys, I'm going to have to end it just because I don't know how long. I don't see a timer, but it's probably out of control. I don't even know how many people are watching. I don't know how to use this thing, but I guess I can check it out once I end it. There's 13. Hey, to you 13 people that are on here, thank you so much for sticking with me. I know that I'm sort of a rambler and I don't follow a straight path. My intentions are well. Gerald, I love you, man. I was just kidding. I don't want people always agreeing with me. That's a scary fucking world when you hang around motherfuckers that agree with you all the time. I don't like doing that because you know what? When everybody agrees with you, you don't learn shit. You don't learn shit. I am going to give this some more thought though, because I feel almost an obligation as somebody who cares about the future. Thank you, brother. As somebody is concerned, I feel an obligation to put some effort into it. And at the end of the fucking whole process, it may very well be that, yeah, we can't make any changes, because we will end up losing the Second Amendment. And I'm not willing to fucking to do that under any circumstance. But I find it hard to believe that as a society, there's nothing we can do. I don't know. But hey, thanks, Justin. Hey guys, I love all of you guys, even the ones that fucking hate me. And thank you for your well wishes. You guys enjoy the rest of it. You guys should get to bed, man. It's fucking late. It's like 10:26 here in Virginia. I'm gonna cut this thing off. You guys stay safe, and thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you had some kind of entertainment, got something out of it. And I'll go back and read these comments, and I think I can respond to them if I missed any. But I will get to all of them. I always do. Thank you guys. LMS Tactical. I'm out. Stay safe.